Hi, I'm Meg Casebolt from Love at First Search, where we help online entrepreneurs to show up in search results and then turn those new viewers into leads, subscribers, and sales. In this video, we're going to be talking all about a keyword research strategy that I have subtly named shame Googling. Shame Googling is any time that somebody has a problem that they don't feel comfortable sharing with other people. If you're having trouble in your marriage, you wouldn't go into a local Facebook group and say, "Oh, does anyone have a marriage counselor they recommend or a divorce attorney? LOL." Or maybe you think you could be pregnant, but you don't want to share that with people before you finish that first trimester, so you go onto Google to look up the symptoms of that 2-week window before you can take a pregnancy test. Or you're thinking about leaving your job and you're not sure if you're qualified for something else, so in the middle of the night you start looking for different positions that you could be looking for or how to update your resume. There are so many different ways that people use Google to gather information on topics that they don't necessarily feel comfortable talking about in the light of day or to the general public. But even when people don't want to share what's on their mind or what they're going through with others, there is a place that they can get information and share what's going on in their minds that feels safe and where they feel like they're anonymous. And that place is Google. In the book Everybody Lies, the author calls Google a digital truth serum, where you can get real information about how people are thinking and behaving because that information feels anonymous to them. In fact, this quote really stood out to me. In the pre-digital age, people hid their embarrassing thoughts from other people. In the digital age, they still hide them from other people, but not from the internet. In a particular, sites such as Google and Pornhub, which protect their anonymity. So how can we as business owners and content creators utilize this information that Google's giving us and tap into the truth that our ideal clients are telling to Google that they may not necessarily express to us? Well, that's where keyword research comes in. Instead of only looking for topics that feel very tactical and feel very outcome driven and feel very rational, I want you to take a few minutes and think about what your ideal client might be shame Googling. What is it that they would turn to Google and ask for advice for that they may not necessarily turn to their friends for? This is especially true for those of us that work in more sensitive areas. Parenting coaches, marriage counselors, therapists, money advisors, career coaches. Basically, if there's any chance that you're following HIPAA regulations or you may have to sign an NDA, this could be a really good exercise for you to think about the things that your ideal client struggles with that they may not feel comfortable talking about, but they would go search for. Now, go do your keyword research, figure out what those exact phrases are that people are searching for, maybe even tap into the emotion that is showing up in those keywords. If you're not sure what people are worried about, maybe just come over to Google and check out the autocompletes. Anxious about being anxious, nothing, work, new job, the future, moving, flying, the COVID vaccine. Let's just take a look at something kind of general, like anxious about the future. See what shows up in those search results. Check out something about what do people also ask, and then maybe come up and turn on your Keywords Everywhere plugin. If you don't have this already, definitely check out my video about this topic, and you can see that the Keywords Everywhere results will give us even more ideas about what people are anxious about and show other keywords that people are searching for, like anticipatory anxiety or anxiety about a future career, or I'm constantly worrying about the future. And maybe you want to write a blog post that says something like, constantly worrying about the future, here's what you need to know. You can literally take one of these longer keywords that people are curious about and use them to say, here's 5 ways to stop being anxious about the future. This is something that people are looking for already, and we know that they're struggling with. So if you are a meditation coach who can say, here's 20 ways to use meditation to stop feeling so anxious about the future, you're much more likely to tap into that person when they're feeling that way, and then you become a trusted source for helping them. Another one you might want to check out is I'm worried, and then talk about what it is that you help people with. I'm worried my kid, I'm worried about my son, my daughter, my baby, my student loans, my child's mental health. I'm worried my baby will be autistic. I'm worried my daughter has an eating disorder. Let's take a look at this. This is very specific. And you might want to write a blog post that is, If you're worried that your daughter has an eating disorder, here are ways you can talk to her about it. You can approach this from a place of empathy, not poking the bear and saying, haha, your daughter has an eating disorder. What did you do wrong as a parent? Obviously, that's not what people want to hear. But if they are in this place where they're not quite ready to go to a counselor, to go to the school psychologist, but they want to start asking these questions, you want to come in and take a look at what are the things that are showing up, knowing that there are people looking for this specific search term. But be aware that there's some really dark stuff that does show up when you start to go down this, so prepare yourself that there may be some difficult keywords showing up here. Now, if you're planning to use this as part of your keyword research strategy, I do have a few disclaimers. First of all, recognize that these can be more sensitive topics that you're talking about. You don't want to just put together some bland tutorial. You want to find a way to acknowledge people's problems and then bring them into your world in a way that feels still in service to them. You may see a huge volume of people looking for this topic and think, bullseye, but remember that these are still people who may be feeling a big emotion or going through something that's painful, and you don't want to exploit the situation just to get yourself page views. So approach your content in an empathetic way, acknowledge the problems that they're going through, and then give them a step towards a solution. And then maybe you can say, book a consult call with me, join my email list, buy this product. But first, give them something that can help them in that moment to solve whatever problem they're coming to you with. Second, make sure that you're qualified to actually help those people. Don't get in over your head just because you see something with really large search volume that you are not certified or accredited to help people with. If you're not a licensed therapist, don't create content that is based on topics that should be handled by somebody who has that certification. Just because the keywords are out there doesn't mean that you have to be the one to answer those questions. So make sure that you are both qualified and prepared to support the people who might be struggling with whatever those keywords are that you're looking for. Don't just go chasing traffic. Make sure that you are the right solution to those problems, not just that they're your ideal client. If you thought this video was helpful, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back next week with more tips to help magnetically attract clients into your website. See you then. Do you know what I'm talking about with the pregnant video where it's like, am I for Goon Day? It's like all of the typos.